Please be seated. Paschalis Alexandridis, Mace Bearer and UB Distinguished Professor in the Department of Chemical and Biological Engineering, will now officially open the ceremony. Dr. Alexandridis.
Thank you, President Tripathi, the graduates, the candidates for degrees, the faculty, the staff, and the parents, families, and friends of the graduates and candidates are now assembled. I hereby declare this commencement of the University at Buffalo School of Engineering and Applied Sciences to be open.
Thank you, Dr. Alexandridis. I am Jeff Arrington, Professor and Chair in the Department of Chemical and Biological Engineering and the herald for today's ceremony. It is my pleasure to welcome you to the School of Engineering and Applied Sciences Commencement. At this ceremony, we will recognize graduate degree recipients from the departments of Biomedical Engineering, Chemical and Biological Engineering, Civil, Structural, and Environmental Engineering, Computational and Data-Enabled Sciences, Data Sciences and Applications, and Electrical Engineering, Engineering Science, Environmental and Water Resources Engineering, Mechanical and Aerospace Engineering, and Sustainable Transportation and Logistics. As we begin today's ceremony, I ask that you take a moment to silence all electronic devices. Thank you. Guests and graduates are encouraged to post to Instagram or X with the hashtag UB Class of 2026 or send a text message to 716-265-6908 for the chance to see your congratulatory messages displayed on screen as students are crossing the stage. Today's ceremony is being live streamed. Shortly following today's event, the ceremony recording will be available to view. Information is available at buffalo.edu/commencement. If able, please stand, remove your caps, and turn your attention to the screen for the national anthem. It will be sung by Abby Tyler, a music theater student from UB's class of 2026.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Please be seated. It is my pleasure to introduce our platform party. Satish K. Tripathi, our university president, Kemper E. Lewis, Dean of the School of Engineering and Applied Sciences, members of our university's senior leadership, associate deans, department chairs, SUNY distinguished faculty, and our honored guests and speakers. I would now like to invite President Tripathi to provide greetings. President Tripathi.
Good afternoon. On behalf of our entire University at Buffalo community, it is my pleasure to welcome you, our graduates, and your families, friends, and mentors to this wonderful celebration. To those who have traveled from near and far to be here today, thank you. Your encouragement and unwavering support have helped make this milestone possible. So please consider this your celebration as well. To our graduates, I hope you are taking in this extraordinary moment. The classmates beside you, the loved ones rooting for you, the journey that brought you here. And now that you have arrived, it is my great pleasure to invite everyone to join me in recognizing the School of Engineering and Applied Sciences graduate class of 2026. Congratulations. Graduates, as you mark the completion of your degree, you cross a new threshold of opportunity and responsibility. For that reason, we celebrate not only what you have accomplished, but who you have become. Your time here has been defined by intellectual growth, perseverance, and discovery. You began with promise, you live with purpose, ready to make an impact in a world that needs your talents and will test your resolve. As graduates of University at Buffalo, you carry forward a mission grounded in advancing knowledge and serving society. Your education has given you greater clarity, the ability to weigh competing ideas, navigate complexity, and decide how you will contribute. And if we have done our job well, you leave with a deeper appreciation of the resilience of our shared humanity, while also recognizing where it is fraying. No doubt, you will encounter trials in the coming years, uncertainty, disagreement, division. In these instances, I urge you to resist the impulse to withdraw or look past them. Instead, engage. Draw on what you have learned here to mend and renew the fabric of our communities. Progress depends on people who are willing to sit at the table, listen carefully, and work towards solutions that strengthen our collective future. In his letter from Birmingham jail, Martin Luther King Jr. reminded us, we are all caught in an inescapable network of mutuality tied in a single garment of destiny. That is not an abstract idea. It is a call to action. It asks each of us to consider not just what we accomplish individually, but also our choices resonate with others and impact the common good. Likewise, the challenges you encounter will not be yours alone, nor will their solution be found in isolation. Your responsibility is to fortify those frayed edges and to cultivate fairness and compassion in everything you do. It has been one of the great privileges of my life to celebrate our UB graduates and witness your growth. As I conclude my presidency this summer, I find myself, like you, standing at the edge of something new. That's why this ceremony holds special meaning for me, and I'm grateful to share it with you today. Together we celebrate this exciting moment, even if the path ahead feels a bit unclear. If one thing is certain, it is my great confidence in you, not only what you will go on to achieve, but how you will choose to lead. Class of 2026, please accept my heartfelt best wishes as you move ahead. May your work advance harmony across society, and may you inspire others to follow your example. Thank you, and again, congratulations to Class of 2026.
Thank you, President Tripathi. I would now like to invite Kemper Lewis, Dean of the School of Engineering and Applied Sciences, to give his remarks.
It is my heartfelt pleasure to congratulate all of you on behalf of the faculty and staff of the School of Engineering and Applied Sciences. We are incredibly proud of each and every one of you. One of the most important lessons I hope you carry with you after today is this, that your potential has to store up before it shows up. And when it does show up, when it's directed by purpose, by a long-term commitment to goals that are personally meaningful and contribute to something bigger than yourself, then it can have extraordinary impact. Some of your potential is showing up today. This degree represents years of hard work, resilience, sacrifice, but you are leaving this campus with greater potential than when you arrived, and your responsibility now is to continue to grow in it. Just as we are never satisfied standing still as a School of Engineering and Applied Sciences, you should never become satisfied with where you are today. So let me leave you with a few principles for continuing to grow your potential. First, remember that personal growth precedes professional growth. Your degree may open doors, but your character, your humility, your discipline, and your attitude, those will determine how far you go once those doors open. Your attitude will determine your altitude. How high you rise in life and how high you rise in leadership will be shaped by the attitude you choose every single day. Second, invest in your strengths, but live with integrity. Continue to improve your skills, your gifts, your talents, because consistent investment in your strengths compounds into something extraordinary. But recognize that a weakness in character will eventually undermine your talent. People do not expect you to be perfect, but they want you to be authentic, be trustworthy, be honest. Third, don't be consumed by either failure or success. There's often less difference between them than people think. Successful people consistently do what others only do occasionally. So don't idolize success and don't despise failure. Learn from both. Let failure keep you humble and resilient, and let success remind you to stay disciplined and grateful. And finally, never forget that helping others succeed also helps you succeed. The best engineers and computer scientists and researchers and entrepreneurs and leaders, they elevate the people around them, encourage others, mentor others, celebrate the success of others. True success is achieved through the lives that you impact. I'll close with a timeless truth from King Solomon, who wrote, "The desire accomplished is sweet to the soul." Today we celebrate that sweetness, the realization of your hard work, your dedication, your perseverance, but we also celebrate the potential, the purpose, and the leadership that still lie ahead of you. Congratulations, Class of 2026. Go Bulls.
Thank you, Dean Lewis. I would now like to invite President Tripathi back to the podium for the awarding of the University at Buffalo President's Medal.
From time to time, the University at Buffalo President has the honor of presenting the UB President's Medal in recognition of individuals who have expended truly extraordinary effort on behalf of our university and the communities we serve. Created in 1990, this medal is presented in recognition of, in the words of the original medal description, outstanding scholarly or artistic achievement, humanitarian act, contributions of time or treasure, exemplary leadership, or any other major contribution to the development of the University at Buffalo and the quality of life in the UB community. It is my honor to recognize one such individual today. Would Andrew Whitaker please come forward to accept this award? Andrew Whitaker is a SUNY Distinguished Professor in the Department of Civil, Structural, and Environmental Engineering. An elected member of the National Academy of Engineering, he is an internationally renowned scholar and engineer whose research has significantly advanced the safety of infrastructure around the world. Whitaker's research has advanced performance-based earthquake engineering, seismic isolation, and damping system of structures, including building and bridges, as well as for blast and impact engineering. He has been also instrumental in developing national guidelines for the structural seismic evaluations and resilience assessment for the Federal Emergency Management Agency. Further emphasizing his influence on his field, Professor Whitaker helped pioneer the first generation of tools for performance-based earthquake engineering. Widely recognized for his exceptional scholarship, he is a fellow of the American Society of Civil Engineers and was one of the 11 people recognized last year as a distinguished member of the organization, the highest honor the society bestows upon civil engineers. His dedication to excellence exemplifies the intellectual leadership of our UB faculty, and his work, focused on protecting communities and critical infrastructure, has had an extraordinary impact on his field. We are honored to celebrate Andrew Whitaker's consequential achievement as a scholar. And it is now my pleasure to recognize his contributions to UB and the many communities we serve with one of the highest honors bestowed by our university community, the UB President's Medal, which I am proud to present to Dr. Andrew Whitaker.
President Tripathi, Dean Lewis, department chairs, distinguished faculty, parents, families, friends, and most importantly, the graduates of the University at Buffalo. It is a privilege to stand here today and deliver some remarks. First, I wish to thank President Tripathi for conferring the President's Medal on me. This important recognition is in part a reflection of who I learned from as an undergraduate student at the University of Melbourne and a graduate student at the University of California at Berkeley. The expert design professionals and faculty I have been blessed to work with over my career, with one acknowledgement to my friend and standout colleague, Michael Constantinou, and the graduate students I have been very fortunate to work with over my 25-year career at UB. Turning now to you, our UB graduates. Today marks the end of one journey and the beginning of another. You leave this world-class university not just as engineers, but as problem solvers, innovators, and custodians of America's future. And there is one truth that will follow you long after today. Your education is not finished, it has only just begun. The world you enter now moves fast, faster than any generation before you. It's a world where battery chemistries evolve yearly, where AI systems learn at a breathtaking speed, and when new materials are discovered in silico before they ever reach a lab for physical experiments. It's a world being reshaped by a changing climate, global interdependence, and technologies whose full impact we are only beginning to understand. In such a world, a degree is not a destination, but is rather a launch pad. The equations, design methods and principles you learned here in the classroom and in the laboratory will serve you well. But the engineers who thrive in the decades ahead will be those who remain curious, adaptable, and unafraid to revisit and revise their assumptions. The mark of a great engineer will not be how much they know, but how quickly they can learn what they need next. Continued learning is not an obligation, it is a superpower. Somewhere ahead, a problem will arrive that no textbook has covered. A technology will emerge that didn't exist when you were in class. A challenge will land on your desk that makes you say, "I've never done this before." And your instinct might be doubt. Am I ready? Let me tell you, you are. Because during your years at the University at Buffalo, you learned something more valuable than the content of any subject. You learned how to learn. You learned to break down complexity. You learned to ask the right questions. You learned to seek advice, test ideas, collaborate widely, and try again after failure. Those habits, not the assignments and examination solutions you handed in, are what will carry you through a lifetime of personal and professional growth. Engineers pride themselves on ingenuity. From biomedical devices to seismic protective systems to smart and sustainable infrastructure, engineering achievements at the University of Buffalo have emerged from people who refused to stop learning and who stayed open to new tools and new thinking. Each of you now joins that lineage. The challenge the world now faces, energy transitions, resilient infrastructure, sustainable cities, equitable technology, are complex. They will demand engineers who constantly evolve and innovate, who read widely and who stay curious and who don't wait for someone else to take responsibility, but rather lead from the front. So what does continued learning look like in practice? It looks like seeking mentors and then giving back by becoming one. It looks like reading beyond your specialty, asking questions that others overlook, and admitting when you don't know something. It looks like embracing new technologies, not with fear, but with discernment, knowing their strengths, their limits, and their ethical implications. It also looks like humility, because the day you think you have nothing left to learn is the day your engineering stops and you become a technician. So graduates, I'll leave you with this. The world does not need perfect engineers, but rather learning engineers. Those who grow, adapt, listen, and imagine solutions that today seem impossible. Your degree from the University at Buffalo is not a certificate of completed knowledge. It is an invitation to lifelong discovery. It's a promise you make to society that you'll keep expanding your abilities for as long as people rely on the things you design. So as you walk across this stage, remember, your education does not end here. Your education begins here. So congratulations, engineers. Keep learning, innovating, and leading. America and the world will be better for it. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Whitaker, and congratulations. At this time, Dean Lewis will give remarks to recognize Dr. Siva Kumar, the recipient of the Dean's Award for Achievement.
It is with great pleasure that the school celebrates Dandapanani Sivakumar, who earned his PhD in computer science from UB in 1996. Over the course of his career, he has been an academic, a scientist, a research leader, an entrepreneur. His honors include a National Science Foundation Career Award, several Best Paper Awards, and a 20-year Test of Time Award, reflecting contributions across theoretical computer science, web algorithms, and artificial intelligence. After 2 decades at IBM Research and also Google, In senior leadership positions, he co-founded Tonita in 2022 to help bring conversational AI to e-commerce.
Thank you, Dean Lewis, and congratulations again to Dr. Siva Kumar. Dr. Siva Kumar was formally recognized at our first graduate ceremony earlier today. I would now like to introduce our graduate student speaker, Krish Vasantakumar Shah. Krish is from Gujarat, India, and is a candidate for the Master of Professional Studies degree in Data Science. Krish.
Greetings, President Tripathi, faculty, staff, distinguished guests, parents, and everyone watching us online. It is my privilege to address you along with the SEA's graduating class of 2026. In August 2024, I boarded a flight from India to Buffalo. I wish I could say I felt confident, but I didn't. I was excited, but I was also scared. I was leaving behind my home, my family, and my friends, who had always been my support system. I was nervous about stepping into a new country, a new culture, a new classroom, and most of all, I was scared of not being good enough. My first week here, I took the wrong bus, twice. I called my mom and said, "Ma, I think I made a mistake." She was silent for a moment. She didn't laugh. She didn't panic. She just said, "You took the wrong bus, but you still reached. That's what matters. You showed up." I didn't understand it then, but I do now. Because every single one of us today has had that moment. Maybe it was moving across the world. Maybe it was switching fields. Maybe it was walking into a room where everyone looked confident while you quietly questioned yourself. And even then, we showed up anyway. During my time at UB, I signed up for a startup pitch competition. I wasn't ready, but I did it. I didn't win, but while everyone was leaving, I had a choice. Go home quietly or walk up to one of the judges and just talk. My heart was racing, but I walked up anyway. That one conversation turned into a connection and eventually an internship I never applied for. And that's when something clicked. That opportunity didn't come from being the best in the room. It came from showing up when it was not required. There's a line from Indian philosophy that finally made sense. You have the right to your actions, but not to the results. At first, it sounds unfair, but it's freeing. Because we were never meant to control our outcomes. What was always ours was the courage to try. And when I look around this room, I see people who did exactly that through job rejections, tough assignments, and not to forget, Buffalo winters that made us question our life choices. We didn't always know how things would turn out, but we kept moving forward. And the truth is, the world we are stepping into won't wait for us to feel ready. Industries will change, new challenges will come, but here's what I know about the class of 2026. We didn't get here because the path was clear. We got here because we walked it anyway. So whatever comes next, just keep showing up. Congratulations, class of 2026. Thank you.
Thank you, Krish. Krish was the winner of the Graduate Student Speaker Competition. He was chosen by a committee comprised of faculty and staff and will receive an engraved UB diploma frame. Congratulations, Krish. Graduation marks the culmination of your academic experience here at UB, and this ceremony celebrates your success. The degrees authorized by the trustees of the State University of New York will now be conferred by President Tripathi. The candidates will be presented by Dean Lewis. Will the candidates for the master's degree please rise if you are able and remain at your seat.
President Tripathi, on behalf of the faculty of the university, I have the honor of recognizing these candidates. They have met all the requirements of the university and are recommended to you by the faculty for the master's degree.
By the authority of the trustees and the Chancellor of the State University of New York and the Council and the faculty of the University at Buffalo, I now confer upon you the master's degree with all the rights and privileges thereto pertaining. Congratulations.
Students, please be seated. We will now ask each group to come forward as directed by a faculty marshal to be greeted by President Tripathi, Dean Lewis, and your department chair. When you have crossed the stage, please return to your seat via the center aisle. Names will be read by Professors Renate and Rath. It is requested that the audience hold their applause until all candidates for a given degree have had their names read. We also request that you do not come forward to take photographs during the ceremony. There is an official photographer who will take photographs of every degree recipient as they cross the stage. We will begin with the Master of Engineering degree recipients in Chemical Engineering.
Ariana Johnson.
Congratulations, Master of Engineering recipients.
Subhash Chandra Tadakuluri.
We just pause for a second. Let me announce the next group. We will continue with our recipients of the Master of Professional Studies in Data Science and Applications.
Lakshman Sai Kumar Komireddy. Nitish Naidu Kandi. Kishore Kumar Avulakonda. Tanuj Reddy Mandadi. Richita Reddy Pisati. Devidat Reddy. Sai Sriram Garpati. Bashir Sadiq Sheikh. Abhinaya Ragipani. Praneeth Sai Chirivella. Ketan Kumar Reddy. Pavitra Nalubolu. Sahitya Gantala. Vardhan Vivek Burande. Rupali Gajendra Paliwal. Sandhya Mishra. Shravanti Polaneni. Sharandeep Reddy Adla. Satvik Gunda. Sai Srikar Bodupalli. Susanna Darcy. Mingyang Song. संजना श्रीकांत मुगली, दीप्ति धनपला, मोइजुद्दीन मोहम्मद, निकिता त्रिपाठी, विनय धीरज जैन, हिमांशु अजय मलिक, सैम शी, शौर्य सिंह रावत, आदित्य आर्यन, अथर्व गणेश जोशी, कृष वसंत कुमार शाह, श्रेयस कदम, आरती जाधव, समित दिनकर भोईर, वरद पाटिल, सुदर्शन नरसिम्हा जाजलू, वेंकट तेजा रेड्डी, वेंकट लक्ष्मी अनुषा दसिका, अनिश कमल मगरी, अपलारा जुमोली मंथेना, ईशा वालीवेटी, वेंकट लोहित कोकंटी, जकीमुल खान, सुयश वाघ, अमेय गोपाल मेस्ट्री, भाविन राजेश गायकवाड़, रवि तेजा मल्लुला, देवी नवीना रेड्डी, चेतन सिंह विनीत गुबाला, केटलिन हॉकिंस, अनुकृति सिंह, नूपुर श्रीवास्तव, आरुषि जुगरान, सागरिका संपत कुमार, मुदित नोटियाल, प्रॉस्पर मस्कारा, साई स्वप्नेश, आकांक्षा काळे, यशस्वी गुर्रम, ऋषि कंदाला, अंकित ताडला, साई मोक्षित गोडपल्ले, विश्वास माली, नरसिम्हा थालीशेट्टी, कृतिक शंकर काटेला, संत कुमार रमेश, विजय प्रकाश कृष्णन, भरतराज नागराजन, जीवहरण जयशंकर, जसवंत बालाजी, प्रेरणा गंगा, थानमयी अर्जला, ज्योत्सना बंजपाली, रेशमा वेमुलापल्ली, नीतीश कुमार रेड्डी, श्रीनिवास राव तुमलपल्ली, साई कृष्णा अनगनी, श्रवणी पोनम, मनीषा पलेम, चंदू काटीपल्ली, मधुमिता कादरी, कीर्ति कादवरु, महेश कुमार टोटाकुरु, रोहित रेड्डी पटलोला, प्रकाश रेड्डी पाशम, नूतन तेजा रेड्डी, विनय तरुण साई कलिगटला, प्रमोद शंकर सरिपल्ली, विशाल पेडपट्टनम, फनिंद्रा नाम्बुरी, विनय कार्तिक उपनपल्ली, राजशेखर रेड्डी अकुला, नरसिम्हा कोरपोलू, रोहन रेड्डी अरुमला, श्रुति लेकाला, साई तनुज कुमार रेवुरु, हरीश सुरेश बाबू, प्रणीता रेड्डी मलेपल्ली,
Congratulations, Master of Professional Studies recipients. We now turn to our Master of Science recipients, starting with Aerospace Engineering.
Joseph Saigon, Jasper Stedman, Yamor I Cannot, Jeremy Denning, Ankur Devra, Abigail Kerkezi, Jason Armstrong, Sujai Patel, Fatu Gui, Sai Shashank Akula, Paige Gosgrove,
Congratulations, Aerospace Engineers. Distinguished guests, our Master of Science in Biomedical Engineering recipients.
Storm Gagne, Haley Mandi, Koshani Chakrabarti, Sarthak Jivani, Ayushi Pandya, Moksha Shukla, Saha Udasi, Reshma Biju, Siva Periyasamy, Vani Wutla, Zachary Peterson, Aditi Tata, Vidhi Patel, Satvik Amaral Pudi, Pradyumna Igaravarappu, Shriya Bhatt, Akula Pranavi,
Congratulations, Biomedical Engineers. Distinguished guests, our Master of Science in Chemical Engineering recipients.
Maxime John Baptiste, Venkat Munagi, Shrishti Borse, Victoria Check, Sarah Wodi, Sharat Biju, Vedika Gowda, Sai Siddhartha Valappadursu, Sai Varun Karapakula,
Congratulations, Chemical Engineers. Distinguished guests, our Master of Science in Civil Engineering recipients.
Ziad Shaheen, Megan Chapman, Halil Kurtoglu, Jacob Melly, Dennis Saitaj, Patrick Napo, Nabil Rahman, Tetong Jaw, Evans Aguilar, Sammy Chen, Abhinav, Harshvardhan Reddy, Muhammad Saddam,
Congratulations, civil engineers. Distinguished guests, our Master of Science in Electrical Engineering recipients.
Ronald Perez Cruz, Riyad Latifajik, Hariharan Kumar Maisa, Kirtana Suresh, Ishani Chaudhary, Zhao Ko, Sanjay Raman Natarajan, Chen Hao Yu, Michael Rodriguez, Georges Mercier, Jamel Yosen, William Shannon, Chandramoli Sirsala, Antoine Binja, Joshua Maleki, Maxwell Clark, Jada Mahfood, Rowan Daly, Evan Bembenista, Monjural Zahid Rede, Maimuna Akhtar Pranti, Nurani Hawa Bristi,
Congratulations, electrical engineers. Distinguished guests, we now recognize our Master of Engineering Science recipients. For this degree, students focus their studies in one of the following areas: artificial intelligence and data innovation, clean energy, cybersecurity, data science, engineering sustainability, Internet of Things, microelectronics and semiconductors, quantum science and nanotechnology, or robotics. We will start with recipients with the focus of artificial intelligence and data innovation.
Ayush Nepal.
And now move on to our recipients with a focus in artificial intelligence.
Amay Managuti. Yashwant Kumar Reddy. Punit Kumar. Manan Jain. Rajiv Zala. Divyesh Patel. Vaibhav Saran. Tejesh Kadali. Sai Jishit Sandak Charla. Sai Sri Kolanu. Jyotsna Devi Goru. Prajesh Gupta Vizapu. Yanavi Milan Patil. Ranjit Rajashrikkar. Sarthak Yadav. Aditi Sinha. Sunidhi Patanji. Pranjali Patil. Manoj Maheshwar Jagadisan, Vishali Mani Paramaswari, Sarayu Daya, Vaishnavi Gavali, Amrit Pandey, Swarat Sarkar, Shivanshu Mishra, Ishan Sunil Bamari, Om Atul Salanki, Aishwarya Virginie, Nitya Kandru, Pratik Aher, Rahul Ekambaram, Venkat Sai Sumant Bijam, Rahul Challapandian Sendal Kumaran, Nikhil Tatikonda, Meghana Bora, Yanavi Pucha, Neeraj Kumar Pola, Chris Jo Maria Anantaraj, Akshay Krishna, Charan Kumar Raju Somala Raju, Manisha Komati, Pani Tarun Mukundan, Udit Brahmadevara, Mohan Kakarala, Pavan Srinivas Doma, Nandakumar Vadivel, Sahil Sivaji Savant, Megha Trichur Saravanan Shekhar, Vishnupriya Swaminathan, Stewartson Srinivasan, Satyan Jayakumaran, Kanisha Raja, Rahul Dilip Kumar, Jayachandra Galda, Saket Gauti, Gayatri Adullah, Shashkila Nirwadi, Anjaneya Bharadwaj, Syed Muhammad Vaham, Nandini Hemant Kumar Soni, Asmi Savant, Ishan Sharma, Vansh Solanki, Sada Kakarlal, Hamsika Rao Garugula, Shivansh Gupta, Kumar Satyam, Vikrant Bandaru, Narendra Verma Mupala, Max Pearson, Deepanathan Rajendran, Anirudh Raj Sharma, Govind Srikar Garimella, Anmol Patil, Himani Ajit Mali.
And now, degree recipients with a focus in clean energy.
Carlos Reyes, Nicole Harmon,
And now, degree recipients with a focus in cybersecurity.
Sharada Rani Patnianakuni, Srinivasa Pindi, Megan Walsh, Pramat Yaji, Bhuvantej Reddy, Kadiresan Kandasamy, Rohan Dalvi, Raghavi Preeti Ayaturi Jaya, Faraz Ahmed,
And now, degree recipients with a focus in data science.
Dulanjala Anuradha Jayat Thikle, Tejaswini Reddy, Shashank Mankala, Sai Rishi Sunkavalli, Sai Abhish Anaya, Nitish Reddy Yanna, Bhumika Alturi, Vamsi Sai Garpati, Sandeep Nelavalli, Indumati Tamil Selvi, Gopika Srikumar, Diya Pati, Ashish Shri Prakash, Saket Ramachandran Puligadda, Vijay Krishna Reddy, Rutuja Bhure, Sohit Sai Malyala, Manish Reddy Dudukunta, Dushyant Chaudhary, Sai Satvik Lakim Setti, Rajasai Katukuri, Kirti Reddy, Vaishnavi Kokirala, Dinakar Yalla, Charan Konduru, Shruti Leeladhar Devlekar, Harini Murugan, Nitish Shri Krishna Selvakumar, Girish Domaraju, Marian Lewis, Chaitanya Komineni, Falguni Raparala, Nidhi Rajani, Akash Ankunsh Kamble, Bhavya Khilrani, Padmavati Murthy, Aishwarya Samuel Salvi, Harshal Patil, Gautam Chengalwala, Abhishek Zadav, Devin Rahul Shah, Prathamesh Gadgar, Vidyut Sriram, Claire Ferry, Ayushi Pandey, Avipsa Bujbar, Siddharth Dheer, Om Nankar, Josita Recharla, Vivek Kode, Krishna Chaitanya Raju, Chinmaya Pasupuleti, Tanmay Jana, Gautam Tanikonda, Sai Mahesh Viramacheni, Sainath Pavan Vuna, Achishman Sarangi, Ram Venkat Dodi, Dikshita Nambala, Venkatasai Akhil Anga, Astha Gade, Yash Mathur, Varun Singh, Vaibhav Vinay Ranashur, Sushrut Gayakwad, Chinmay Gedam, Om Jagatram Gaidhane, Srinath Pidappa, Sharmila Devi Chipurali, Manimegalai Mamalan, Hema Priya Balaji, Sandeep Pudi, Venkat Akhil Yeru, Rudresh Polineni, Kaushal Shivaprakashan, Manogna Tamisetti, Manaswini Chittepu, Monish Kadiala, Preetam Gangadi, Saiteja Gaddam, Abhiram Maila, Likita Gedipudi, Vaishak Muralidharan, Ajit Kumar Senthil Kumar, Akash Suresh Kumar, Lokesh Rajaram, Neha Mahesh, Lakshmi Shruti Anchula, Nikita Reddy Nagireddy, Siddhi Nalawade, Pooja Patil, Chanchal Bundele, Vishal Lavangare, Sahil Vachani, Siddharth Adhikari, Kundan Satkar, Mrudula Deshmukh, Satvik Kiran MS, Siddharth Hero, Somesh Darkar, 100, Bhargav Reddy, Saptavarni Devineni, Varshini Vatnala, Vinutna Raila, Bhava Jonagadla, Gurvinder Kaur, Arun Karthik Periyaswamy, Sai Snehita Ramisetti, Hasika Nalgonda, Harshit Adipuri, Sudipti Rongali,
Maheshwar Desireddy, Shitali Urs, Nivedita Karunanidhi, Vivek Vishwanathan, Abhyuday Ramya, Sampat Kavala, Mahmood Ali Khan, Santosh Mohan Jaina, Rohan Jain, Yasin Siddiqui, Ram Prakash Yellavula, Sai Vignesh Thintala, Lohit Vatikuti, Durga Prasad Sakala, Janarada Reddy Guntaka, Nana Avis Susiretti, Arun Gontali,
And now, degree recipients with a focus in engineering sustainability.
Eric Kessler, Alexa Rogers, Jackson Wan,
And now, degree recipients with a focus in Internet of Things.
Kesava Satish Bopana, Venkatarami Reddy, Dinesh Kumar Gaddi, Shruti Patnala, Bhavika Sood, Nin Zhang,
And now, for the first time, UB degree recipients with a focus in microelectronics and semiconductors.
Pranati Reddy Kuntala, Anwar Hakim Tamim, Muskan Vrati,
And now, for the first time, our recipients with a focus in quantum science and nanotechnology.
Yogeshwar Gopal, Mandar Anil Payare, Bhumika Jagadisha, Anuprash Sharma,
And now, degree recipients with a focus in robotics.
Ahmed Zahir, Thomas Gubinek, Daniel Vadranapu, Satvik Ram Metla, Karan Keshav, Akshay Dhirendra, Sachin Nagraj Kulkarni, Rigved Rahul Kulkarni, Rishabh Shukla, Harsh Bhargava, Rakesh Prakash Jamanali, Urvish Rajesh Kumar Shah, Venkatasai Yashwant, Motorab Shaki, Rahul Masagoni, Hemant Sai Reddy, Pavan Yaral Gada, Siva Naga Sai Kola, Nikhil Bomarati, Sri Shakuntala Yarnani, Ganesh Paladagulu, Tejas Bade, Sai Jayan Sitamaseti.
Congratulations to all of our engineering science recipients. Distinguished guests, our Master of Science in Environmental and Water Resources Engineering recipients.
Daniel Antonio Galdames, Carrie Princeton, Elizabeth Zink, Philip Zemaco, Emmanuel Kobina, Nina Zaw.
Congratulations, environmental and water resources engineers. Distinguished guests, our Master of Science in Mechanical Engineering recipients.
Nolan Mingst, Wyatt Krieger, Jason Beeger, Jacob Derby, Christopher Kodwies, Aniruddha Ghorpade, Angela Cox, Osama Al-Kayali, Surya Ramachandran, Pratik Chauhan.
Congratulations, mechanical engineers. And the last of the Master of Science program that we are recognizing today our Master of Science in Sustainable Transportation and Logistics recipients.
Justin Pierce. Dinesh Satyamurthy. Aditya Sharma.
Congratulations, STL recipients. Congratulations again to all of our master's degree recipients. Please give a round of applause for our valiant readers. At this time, we will confer our doctoral degrees. Will the candidates for the doctoral degree please stand if you are able and remain at your seats? The candidates for the degree of Doctor of Philosophy will now be presented by Dean Lewis.
President Tripathi, on behalf of the faculty of the university, I have the honor of recognizing these candidates. They have met all the requirements of the university and are recommended to you by the faculty for the Doctor of Philosophy degree.
By the authority of the trustees and the Chancellor of the State University of New York and the Council and the faculty of the University at Buffalo, I now confer upon you the degree of Doctor of Philosophy with all the rights and privileges thereto pertaining. Congratulations.
We will now have the hooding and recognition of our Doctor of Philosophy recipients. Their names will be read by Professor Jun Zhuang, Associate Dean for Research. Students will proceed on stage by discipline to receive their Doctor of Philosophy hoods.
Distinguished guests, our Doctor of Philosophy in Aerospace Engineering recipients, Emmanuel Malov, Major Professor Javed Bando, Niam Field, Major Professor Eleonora Bota, Grant Hecht, Major Professor Eleonora Bota, Kailash Redforwi, Major Professor Paul Desjardins, Electra Katz Ismail, Major Professor Paul Desjardins, Jason Song, Major Professor James Chen, this one? Joseph Maziel, Major Professor James Chen, dear guests, our Doctor of Philosophy in Biomedical Engineering recipients, Neil Masako, Major Professor Feliciano Srivis, Eric Mareki, Major Professor Kwang Wu. Yafei Su, Major Professor Yun Wu. Chu Qing Huang, Major Professor Jun Xia. Masa Yasdani, Major Professor Ruogang Zhao. Matthew Patrick, Major Professor Ram Anamala. Distinguished guests, our Doctor of Philosophy in Chemical Engineering recipients, Arundhati Das, Major Professor Stylalios Andreas. Yunlun Wu, Major Professor Stylalios Andreas. Vesa Fani Srinivas Mati, Major Professor Mark Sweetheart Gang Wu. Ali Gassami, Major Professor Marina Silo. Sweta Singh, Major Professor Hai Ching Ling. Najis Ismaili, Major Professor Hai Ching Ling. Fatih Atia, Major Professor Hai Ching Ling. Kai Chen, Major Professor Hai Ching Ling. Kate Chen, Major Professor Gang Wu. Kay Lei Liu, Major Professor Ashley Ford University. Edward Address R. Singh Woolies, Major Professor Ashley Ford University. Fan Wang, Major Professor Miao Yu. Ricardo Axver Ramirez Lias, Major Professor Viviana Mondri, Sheikha Solanki, Major Professor Pascalis Alexandriadis, and Mariana Tasio. Distinguished guests, our Doctor of Philosophy in Civil Engineering recipients, Rohit Ranjan Singh, Major Professor Ranjit Stavilis, Sasha Galimo Ripo, Major Professor Ian Bradley Lingdai, Yi Ming Zhang, Major Professor Ziqi Song, Mag Bahadur K, Major Professor Ziqi Song, distinguished guests, our Doctor of Philosophy in Computational and Data-Enabled Sciences recipients, Tamitop Oluwasu Benson, Major Professor Ashley Ford Versipt, Rakti Mukhopadhyay, Major Professor Mary Anthony Makato, distinguished guests, our Doctor of Philosophy in Electrical Engineering recipients, Anthony Cabanilas, Major Professor Hua Ming Li, Bishojit Kumar Dash, Major Professor Filippo Malandra, Ge Yang, Major Professor Xiu Yao, Noor Jihan Lip, Major Professor Wutam Sinsiksti, Animesh Datta, Major Professor Wutam Sinskati, Sai Jantit Yanran Guangtala, Major Professor Bihu Sanhu, Sanchari Das, Major Professor Bihu Sanhu. Meg Nath Karnal, Major Professor Ian Sellers. Distinguished guests, our Doctor of Philosophy in Environmental and Water Resources Engineering recipient, Chuling Zhu, Major Professor Yingying Ye. Muhammad Arafat Ali, Major Professor Ian Bradley, Niram Aid. Sumaya Safer, Major Professor Ian Bradley. Distinguished guests, our Doctor of Philosophy in Mechanical Engineering recipients, Nicholas Novisaski, Major Professor Javed Beando. Clayton Firmino Fernandez, Major Professor Javed Blando. Sovik Poda, Major Professor Eninola Bota. Donald Miller, Major Professor Francine Battaglia. Syed Minad Khatami, Major Professor Zhao Yan Li. Congratulations, doctoral recipients.
Yes. Would all the graduates please stand at this time if you are able? Parents, families, and friends, I present to you the class of 2026.
Please be seated. I will now invite Nathaniel Bolt, President of the UB Engineering and Applied Sciences Alumni Association Board, to say a few words.
Congratulations, class of 2026. Graduation is a rite of passage, the crossing of a threshold from years of hard work and dedication into a new beginning of a new life stage. It is a time that recognizes your remarkable work, dedication, and drive. Most importantly, it is a time that will now bond you with your classmates as University at Buffalo alumni. This moment has been in the making for all of you. I am sure while each of your paths are unique, there have been shared experiences of great times and difficult times, all of which have contributed to the graduates that you have become. By graduating from UB, I know wholeheartedly that all of you are resilient and will persevere no matter the challenge. As the world looks for innovators, thought leaders, and visionaries, it is each of you that will answer that call. That is what it means to be UB engineers and computer scientists. While today is a day of looking forward, we also now need to start looking back. As alumni, you are now in a very fortunate position and hold the responsibility to help guide future generations to follow. Connect, nurture, inspire, and mentor those who follow you so that they too can share in this incredible legacy. Connection is the reason that the University of Buffalo Engineering and Applied Sciences Alumni Association exists, to connect you, our alumni, with the ones that come after you in hopes of making an impact. I promise you that making these impacts are some of the most rewarding moments, and you never know how far-reaching they will be or when they will occur. As engineers and computer scientists, I ask each of you to never lose sight of this charge and to help expand upon it by building meaningful change in this world through connection and inspiration. And with this, on behalf of the University of Buffalo Engineering and Applied Sciences Alumni Association, its board of directors, and more than 42,000 members who have preceded you, I welcome you. Go forth and be bold, for together we are UB. Congratulations, class of 2026.
Thank you, Nathaniel. Class of 2026, I ask that you stay close to your alma mater and come back to campus often so that you can inspire and influence the next generation of engineers and applied scientists. Congratulations, class of 2026. The School of Engineering and Applied Sciences would like to extend a warm, heartfelt thank you to all the dedicated staff from the Office of the President, University Events, Center for the Arts, Broadview Arena, and other campus service providers, and of course, the faculty, staff, and students who assisted from the School of Engineering and Applied Sciences. I would now like everyone who is able to please stand and turn your attention to the screen for the alma mater sung by Abby Tyler.
The pride of our spirit and tradition, our alma mater's truth and name declare. Celebrate our history and wisdom. Oh, let us all prepare to sing her glory. To Buffalo, all hail to thee. Noble and strong, it's our university. To blue and white, pledge loyalty. Singing, I will always remember thee.
Audience, please take your seat and remain seated until all participants and graduates have exited. Participants and graduates, please remain standing at your seats until the platform party have exited. Then follow behind as directed by a faculty marshal. Immediately following the ceremony, you are invited to receptions honoring graduates, families, and friends. Please check the School of Engineering and Applied Sciences Commencement webpage for details. Dr. Alexandridis will now close the ceremony. Dr. Alexandridis.
Thank you. I declare the 2026 commencement of the University at Buffalo School of Engineering and Applied Sciences to be officially concluded.